This video, it's intense. There's this guy messing around with a black bear pouring water on it from a bottle, almost like he's teasing it. At first, the bear doesn't seem to get where the water's coming from, but then it clocks the guy. Next thing you know, that bear looks ready to climb up after him, and the guy, he's feeling seriously threatened, pulls out his rifle and aims it right at the bear. Tension's through the roof, you can feel it. He even cocks the gun, like he's ready to use it to defend himself. It's a relief, though, that the bear decides to back off and just goes about its own business. But seriously, what was that guy thinking, messing with a bear like that? It seemed pretty reckless to me. At this person's house, they're having a party and suddenly, there's something strange happening outside. They step out to check and spot this odd movement. Like something's hiding. They shine a light to see, but nothing's there. So they try this thing, turn off the light to see if whatever's out there takes the bait. When they flick the light back on and really focus, there's this tiny figure peeking from behind a rock. It's shy, keeps hiding, but you can see it coming out now and then. It's about the size of a toddler, looks white or pinkish, and you catch glimpses of its short hand as it darts back into hiding. In the background, there's a woman begging to turn the light on, desperate to see what's going on. They managed to catch part of its body with the light this time. Could this be one of those Maki Yayu, those little people from Native American stories? Some say they punish those who break their rules, while others believe they reward kindness, but seeing something like that, it's hard to figure out what's really going on. Out in the forest, this guy's wandering alone, and the things he captures on camera, it's like a horror story coming to life. He's filming his walk in the dead of night, trying to document whatever's going on, and boy, does he get more than he bargained for. The camera picks up this figure standing by a tree, tall, walking on two legs like a person, not some woodland creature. The moment it realizes it's been seen, it bolts behind the tree and vanishes into the dark woods. The guy tries to follow, but it's like it was never there in the first place, just gone. I mean, what in the world was that thing? It's enough to make your skin crawl, thinking about some mysterious being lurking in the woods at night. What was it up to, stalking the guy like that? Or worse, what if it had something sinister planned and just lost interest when it got caught? It's the kind of stuff that keeps you up at night, wondering about the things out there that we can't explain. This video, oh gosh, it's really something. I mean, it's making me feel so uneasy. There's this creature, like Bigfoot, right? It pops out from the bushes, moving fast but all careful like behind this huge rock. And get this, it notices the person filming, stares right at them, totally unfazed. Then it kinda hides for a bit, and when it reappears, it's carrying what looks like a baby. I zoomed in on the footage and I swear, its face is so gorilla-like. But here's the weird part. It's standing on two legs, not like those ape things that walk on all fours, covered in this super thick black fur, towering over everything. It's got me really worried, you know. Like, is it running away from danger with its baby or trying to keep it safe? But then I can't shake this feeling. What if it's all a trick, like someone dressed up to mess with people's heads? Or wait, what if it's actually Bigfoot just trying to protect its kid? I can't stop thinking about it. We've all heard those bone-chilling ghost tales, right? Well, Leonardo's got one that's seriously giving me goosebumps. He's had this gut feeling that his place is haunted, and boy, did he get confirmation. He set up a camera in his mom's supposedly haunted house and caught some seriously freaky stuff. The oven starts opening and closing on its own. Utensils flying around like there's some invisible poltergeist having a kitchen tantrum. And if you squint, there's this shadowy figure just moving around the room. Creepy, right? He thought he could confront it when it appeared in the room he was in. But facing a ghost, even when you try to be brave, is no joke. And it gets worse. This recording, it shows a pale face peeking out from behind a wall, like, seriously, a woman's face. I'm getting major chills just talking about it. The thing is, Leonardo feels like this ghostly thing is getting stronger over time. And the worst part? It's ongoing. Like the evidence just keeps piling up. I can't imagine dealing with that level of spookiness. Poor guy, all he can do is document and hope for the best. But man, that's some seriously hair-raising stuff. There's this video where this guy's in his yard, right? And he spots something dark moving near the woods. He grabs his phone, tries to zoom in, hoping to see it clearer. But even zoomed in, it's just this dark blob, nothing clear. He keeps recording. Then, out of nowhere, a second one shows up. One just stands there staring at him, while the other seems totally unaware. The bigger one goes behind a tree and starts peeking out from the other side. It's freaky, right? Could this actually be a group of Bigfoot-like creatures? Seeing those mysterious figures, it's hard not to wonder what's really going on out there in the woods. This guy stumbled upon something straight out of a nightmare underwater and had the nerve to record it. Near the base of a dock, there's this fish that's just spine-chilling. Its eyes? They're like these sunken pits with two tiny white dots making it look like a skull staring you down. And those teeth jutting out like it's ready to chomp down if you so much as dip a finger in the water. But here's the thing. As terrifying as it looks, it's just doing its own thing. Floating around, swimming away. What on earth kind of fish is that? It's giving me the heebie-jeebies just thinking about it. Down in the depths of the sea, this diver comes across a fish that's like nothing they've ever seen. It's totally unique, especially its face. Nothing else even comes close. Strangely enough, it looks kind of friendly. The diver even reaches out to touch it while trying to crack open a shell to feed it. But here's the thing that's seriously strange. The fish's face? It's almost human-like. And instead of a smooth head, it's got this weird bump on its forehead. What's really mind-boggling is how calm and friendly it is despite being so different from anything else in the ocean. It's like encountering an enigma in the sea, and it's giving me this odd mix of wonder and unease. This video's eerie. There's this kid playing around having a good time, but it's like he's not alone in the room. At first, it's tough to see, but there's this faint figure hanging around, almost like it's playing with the child. It doesn't seem like it wants to hurt the kid, and weirdly enough, the kid doesn't seem bothered either. Is it some ghost stuck between worlds, drawn to the child? Maybe it's a protective spirit looking out for the kid. Or could it just be a glitch or our minds playing tricks from the camera angle? But there's something about it that's hard to shake off. 3 folks out cycling in the woods suddenly find they've got an unwelcome buddy tagging along. A bear. It caught their scent and got curious, so it starts tailing them. Can you imagine the fear creeping in? They pedal like crazy, desperate to outrun this bear, but it's relentless, sticking right behind them. So they take this gutsy move, they raise their bikes up high, start yelling, trying to seem larger than life to scare it off. Apparently that's the trick with black bears, but seriously, that's nerve-wracking. We gotta stay together. You all see things. Okay. Thankfully, the bear backed off and walked away. But goodness, what if it didn't? What if it decided to charge? It's like a horror movie playing out in the woods. The thought alone gives me shivers. Those cyclists were seriously on the edge there, risking a catastrophe if that bear had decided to turn the tables. This lady, she was out there filming some crows making a racket in the woods. But then when she looked up to spot them, there was nothing. Nothing in the sky. But her camera caught something else. Something weird in the trees. A big, dark shape that just popped up in one shot. It looked like some huge hairy thing, like those stories about Bigfoot. You know, that creature people talk about. Big, covered in hair, walking on 2 legs. What made it worse? It lifted its arm and sort of waved at her. Can you imagine? She was all by herself and there's this spooky thing waving in the woods. She totally freaked out. And honestly, who wouldn't? The video didn't show much, just a quick glimpse of that creature. But it leaves you wondering, right? Could she have actually caught a real Bigfoot on camera? So there's this group hiking on Marble Mountain in 2001, right? And they catch this really tall figure on camera, like super tall. And here's the thing. It's coming down from this ridge towards the trees. At first glance, you'd think it's just a person walking, but it's way too towering for that. I mean, look at it compared to everything around. It's massive. But here's the kicker. It's not standing straight, which, whoa, that's strange. What's up with that? What was it even doing up there in the mountains? Some say it's Bigfoot out for a stroll, but I don't know. I've seen Bigfoot stuff, and this one looks way skinnier than any footage I've seen. It's giving me the shivers, honestly. Like, what if it's something else entirely? I can't quite wrap my head around it. In this search for Bigfoot, there's this moment a guy catches on camera that's just, well, intense. You see this figure moving around, almost like it's playing a game of peekaboo with the viewers, and the guy filming is so caught up, asking his buddy if he's seeing what he's seeing because they both know something's up. But here's the freaky part. Do you see that? Do you see that? I'm afraid. That creature? It looks like it knows it's being watched, like it's staring right at them. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's just strolling around like it knows it's on camera, even stretching out those crazy long arms. And those limbs, they're so much like what people describe Bigfoot having. It's kind of ape-like, but way too big to fit into that category, especially because it's walking on two legs. In the heart of the woods, this guy manages to catch something on camera that looks like a young Bigfoot. He's tracking it with his eyes, then suddenly flips the camera, zooming in on this spot where this little thing dashes across, darting deeper into the trees. It's small, walking on two legs, covered in this thick brown fur. But here's the thing that's got me spooked. What was it running from? Did it realize it was being filmed and made a run for it, trying to hide? And just like that, it disappears, leaving us all wondering what in the world that creature could possibly be. It's like a mystery unfolding in the woods, giving me major chills. You're out for a nice drive with your family, just chilling, and suddenly you're being chased by a Yeti. That's what happened to this Russian family. They had this crazy encounter with this unknown creature that they're convinced was the legendary Yeti. I mean, can you imagine? They're cruising along and out of nowhere this black figure pops up from the grass. But here's the thing. Yetis are supposed to have white hair, right? So, already, something doesn't quite add up. They couldn't really see it well, so they go back for a closer look, and guess what? The moment this thing realizes it's being watched, it turns and starts chasing after them. Oh, no, that's what it is. It's got these huge hands sticking out and moves like some kind of zombie. Totally eerie. I can't help but wonder, could it actually be a Yeti? But in Russia, that's way off from the Himalayas. I'm getting major chills just thinking about it. Like, what if it really was the infamous Yeti? What's it doing so far from home? This is seriously unsettling. Late at night, near this guy's house, something seriously spooky went down in the woods. He spotted these two bone-chilling dots lurking between the trees, just fixated on his house. And when he zooms in, yep, they're definitely eyes staring right at him. Trying to keep his cool, he calls out a hesitant, "Hello?" Hello, but his voice? Shaky and totally rattled by what's going on. Is it some creepy stalker lurking out there, or just a reflection from something shiny? I mean, imagine being in that situation, unsure of what's watching you from the darkness. Gives me the shivers just thinking about it. Out camping in the woods, this family comes face to face with something that gives me major chills just thinking about it. Their phone camera captures this towering figure moving between the trees. Even with the fog, the footage is crystal clear. It's this creature walking on two legs, all draped in black fur. I can't quite make it out, but from what I can gather, it's like some kind of Sasquatch, a Bigfoot maybe. The unknown intentions of this creature, lurking around like that, it's straight out of a scary story. The thought of encountering something like that, it's enough to make your heart skip a beat. Okay, so there's this police officer called in to check out some disturbance because people around heard a guy screaming for ages. When the officer gets there, all the screaming stopped, but he keeps shining his flashlight, trying to see if anything's off, walking down the road real careful like. Then, bam! His light catches something eerie at the end of another road. There's this ghostly figure, all pale and sudden-like, just sitting there. And out of nowhere, it stands up and starts rushing at the officer. The sheriff's freaked out, on high alert, and bolts to get away from this imminent danger. When you take a closer look, that figure, It's like one of those mysterious creatures people talk about. Humanoid, super pale, with these long arms and legs. Whether that video's for real or just some trickery, it's unsettling, right? I mean, seeing something like that, it's bound to make you wonder what's really out there. So there's this recording from a ranger doing a survey in this far-off place, and he sees something weird in the field. He shines his light around, and there's this strange white thing. But when it realizes it's being watched, it ducks behind a tree real quick, trying to hide. The ranger keeps the light on that spot, and after a few seconds it comes out of the shadows, sneaking between the trees, going deeper into the woods. I saw the footage, and that thing. It looked just like this spooky creature called the rake. It's like it was crawling, almost like it's walking on all fours, but in a creepy, haunting way. In this video, at first glance, it looks like a regular grass field, but if you take a closer look, there's this little critter that becomes clearer. It's kind of like a mega or a mongoose, but folks who've looked closely say it's bigger and broader than a typical mongoose. Looking at its shape, you can tell this small thing has long arms and these tiny claws that stretch out. And it's covered in black fur, with a bit of orange on its head. Some say it's like a baby Bigfoot, but others think maybe someone just messed with the image to give folks a scare. What's your take on this? Is it for real, or is someone just trying to spook everyone with a sneaky edit? There's this security camera footage from Wesley, Texas, and it's just weird. In the middle of the night, when everything's quiet, it shows this little girl hurrying across a backyard, going from one end to the other. Now, picture this. A young girl, in a white dress, all alone, wandering around at that hour. Creepy, right? But get this. The owner says there's no girl like that around. Nobody living nearby matches that description. And when they zoom in on the footage, that figure, it's almost see-through, pale like a ghost. The owner's totally spooked. So, what does he do? He goes out there, tries to see if there's anything in the backyard, and it's just eerie. Empty. No signs that anyone's been there. He even records the whole area, but it's just darkness, nothing unusual. What's the deal here? Was it some glitch on the camera, or did it really capture something otherworldly? Seeing that on tape, it's enough to make you wonder what's really out there in the dark. Out in the desolate wilds of Russia, this poor guy faces something straight out of a horror flick. His truck gives out, leaving him stranded in the snowy nowhere. Desperate for help, he treks through the icy expanse, but no luck. And as time ticks by, he gets this gut feeling that he's not alone out there. Feeling watched, he starts recording and, oh, this is the stuff of nightmares. He catches sight of this eerie creature that's been shadowing him. It's moving on all fours, those eyes glinting in the darkness, closing in on the stranded man. And get this. It's got a head like a human and this inquisitive way of moving, like it's trying to figure him out. I mean, what on earth could that thing be? Is it some person in a costume pulling a cruel prank on a guy just looking for help? Or is it actually some cryptic creature from the unknown? The thought of being stalked like that, especially in the middle of nowhere, it's the stuff nightmares are made of. On this cloudy day out in the grasslands, a camera catches sight of this looming figure. At first it seems all still, but then it starts this slow move to the left. Its stature? Towering, almost human-like, covered in this thick brown fur if you really squint. The facial part's kinda white, but it's not crystal clear, and the head's got this sorta ape-like shape. And just like that, it turns away and vanishes into the tall grass behind it. It's like a mystery unfolding, making me wonder. Could it be the infamous Sasquatch, or maybe it's some person in a Bigfoot costume trying to stir up a whole lot of commotion among the folks watching this footage? The uncertainty of it all, it's enough to make your mind spin with all sorts of possibilities. To my head, there's this new video going around where this guy Peter, my father shot the Bigfoot in 1953, they had to cut it up, claims to have the head of Bigfoot that his dad supposedly took down like 65 years back. He's saying they kept the body parts frozen in their freezer all this time. It's a lot to take in. But honestly, something feels off about it. I mean, he's so adamant that it's Bigfoot's head, but it just feels like a big attention-grabbing stunt to me. I've seen enough Bigfoot stuff, and the head he's showing. It looks too human, you know? Feels more like a really well-made sculpture than the real deal. Bigfoot, from what I've seen, isn't supposed to have a human-like head. It's more, well, different. More, like, not exactly human. It's hard to be sure just from that clip, you know. But part of me thinks this could be a tiny step toward figuring out if there are unknown creatures out there. Still, I can't shake this feeling that it's all for show, and the truth might be way different. In this recording, the law of the wild is on full display. Survival of the fittest in action. A security camera captures two raccoons strolling along a bridge in the dead of night. One veers off to a nearby tree, and the other, almost possessed, follows close behind. Then, out of nowhere, it's chaos. The second raccoon viciously attacks its companion, chasing it off with a terrifying shriek, like it's trying to scare away its nighttime partner. Seems like there was something they both wanted, maybe some prey or food, and they fought tooth and nail for it. The one chased away seeks refuge in a nearby tree, probably nursing wounds from the aggressive encounter. It's nature at its rawest, but it's unsettling to witness the brutality between these normally nocturnal buddies. Late at night under a bridge, a camera catches this nocturnal critter on the hunt. It's pacing along the riverbank, almost like it's in a rush to grab a meal before bedtime, and just when it gets lucky and grabs something, poof, it slips into the water, gone in a flash. The raccoon dives in after its meal, but no luck. It's lost its dinner for the night. Suddenly, another raccoon steps into the scene, giving off this threatening vibe to the first one. But the first raccoon, it doesn't even flinch, just carries on its way. It's weird, right? These raccoons seem to have some kind of connection. They end up walking together on the bridge in the morning. It's like a midnight drama playing out under the bridge, leaving me wondering what kind of raccoon rivalry or friendship is going on there. A trail camera snaps a male deer doing its thing in the woods, all calm and collected, until something grabs its attention. A mystery, something. It shifts towards the camera, halting to face its right side. Those antlers, they're majestic. And then, this video catches its roar like it's trying to say something. But here's the thing, the camera doesn't capture what got the deer all riled up. Maybe it roared to warn off a rival nearby, who knows? It's like this whole mysterious episode in the forest, leaving us wondering what on earth caught that deer's attention. Gives me the jitters just thinking about what's out there in those woods. Under the sunny skies, there's this pack of wolves frolicking in the snowy landscape near the edge of a forest. They're going about their business, but one of them catches sight of the recording camera and heads over. It gets all up close, blocking the view and messing with the camera. It's a stunning sight, really, these majestic wolves with their fur shining in the snow. Wolves, you know, they travel and hunt in packs. And this particular pack, it seems like they're on a journey, maybe searching for a better place, a safer haven. It's incredible, but also kinda unnerving. Seeing them up close and knowing they're on the move like that. In this recording, a trail camera captures a fierce clash between two male deer in the woods. They're deadlocked, their antlers tangled, and neither one's backing down. They're shoving and squealing, and you can hear the bone-chilling crackling and clashing of their horns. It's like a primal showdown, a common thing in the animal world. These males, they gotta battle it out for the chance to mate with a female counterpart. But watching them go at it, it's intense. It's a reminder of how brutal nature can get. And it's got me feeling a bit unsettled.